Hi, super happy to see you here. And yeah, we already started a stream. And let me check if everything is work. How are you today?
Yeah, good, thanks. How are you?
I'm good too. To be honest, I'm a bit worried, of course.
How come?
Yeah. So you said you actually traveling. Is it true? Hi. Okay.
Yeah, I'm traveling tomorrow actually, and then I'm headed to Dubai. So
Oh, you will be on this exhibition, right?
yeah, that's the plan.
I
Yeah,
already saw a lot of yeah, like how guys prepare to meet you, and everything is so beautiful, so professional. So I said everyone like, oh my God, guys, it looks so good, like so, you know, as a like real good event. So I'm happy for you that you made it so good.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Hi guys. Hello everyone. Super happy to see you. And we are live. Wait, yes, I muted sound on abstract. So guys, we are abstract. Hi
Uh,
everyone. Yeah, so at first, let me. I will. Read some questions because English is not my native, and I need to remember myself what I wanted to ask. But basically, Born to Build is like chill stream about your world view, how you feel yourself, how your character changing with time, right? Because I'm sure you are not the same person as the person who started React. So let's remind to everyone who are you? And actually, when I was reading it, I was so impressed by you again. So you are trader turned Web3 artist. Known as a digital art world as OSF, started his journey in investment banking before becoming one of the most prominent figures in the NFT world. He mastered digital art and programming himself, which allowed him to create projects like Rektguy and Rekt. Founder of successful NFT project, the Rektguy collection, 8,814 NFTs featuring hooked skeletons, become a cult phenomenon in the Web3 community. His project not only caught the attention of collectors, but also laid the foundation for the development of the Rekt brand, launching products such as Rekt Drink, carbonated beverage that sold out for in a record 48 hours. Pioneer of a new approach to the community involvement in business, OSF implemented a unique model that allows NFT holders to become co-founders of the brand. He raises 1.5 million in the seed round, finalized without the involvement of major venture capital funds, demonstrating the effectiveness of approach to integrating Web3 into traditional business. So your success actually huge. And tell me what's the main like I feel now no one is becoming, a hero just because we're born like that. It's a journey. So tell me, what's the difference between Ovi? Can I call you Ovi? By name?
yeah,
Okay,
absolutely. Yeah,
thank you. So what's the difference between you 4 years ago, let's say so, and you now? Had you like fight with something in you? Had you need to broke all your bones and rebuild yourself, or you just naturally involving?
yeah. That's a really good question, actually. I think so. 4 years ago, I was still in my old job, um, where I used to be a trader, and I had been there for about 10 years. So I was 10 years into that journey, and I basically worked at the same place for 10 years. I did spend some time in London and some time in New York, but it was basically like the same job. But I kind of found like I found personally working for a company, having a boss, my boss having a boss, and people kind of like telling you what to do the whole time. I found that a very difficult environment to be in. I think it was great when I started out there because it was a great way to learn from people who had more experience than me and could teach me a lot of things. But you get to a point, or at least I felt like I got to a point where as you learn more and more things, you want to take more risk or be more creative or be more entrepreneurial. And I just felt like I couldn't do that within that environment. So I think like my mind was already thinking about quitting or doing something else. Like I was just looking for other things. I think many people may find this in their careers or jobs. You do well at something, then you hit the point where you just feel like you've plateau or you stop and you need to have a change. And that's around about the time I discovered crypto and NFTs and kind of just started experimenting with trading stuff, experimenting with creating art. And um, it was kind of like, it sort of became like the perfect thing for me to be in because I really like finance, I really like art, I really like tech. I really like trading and like NFTs at that time was like everything rolled into one. So kind of, I don't know, it's weird. This product didn't exist a few years ago, and now suddenly this thing that's perfect for me just existed. So I started spending more of my time doing that, and then I decided to take the plunge and the risk from leaving that job into going into crypto and Web3 full time. And I still didn't really know what I was going to do in crypto other than trade. But as time went on and as we had some success with different projects, it felt like more and more opportunities presented themselves. So it's kind of one of those things where it's like, okay, I don't really have a plan, but I do believe that this is kind of like a space where I'm meant to be, and I do believe something will present itself, and I had confidence in myself to do something basically. So yeah, it's a weird one. Thing of it was like I was already at a point where I felt like I wanted to have a change, I think.
You're ragging a bit, but I think so far nothing,
Oh,
yeah, super critical. But in case if you can somehow make connection better, please do.
yeah.
There is a big difference between just a community member and founder of the project. So how you jumped on the new hate for you? Because and in general, is it like was it the first time in your life when you decided to change something and start something your own? Or, for example, for me, it was before it was like 3 months, and I feel like I grow up. I need to change something in my life, and it was like before it was 3 months, then it become like 6 months. I don't know, maybe I become older, and that's why it's maybe I find myself more, and that's why it's slower, because I actually enjoy what I'm doing, in the process, and that's why like it took time to develop this field. But was it for you first time when you decided to change something, or before you tried something on your own, you thought about, or you just worked on the same job and it was fine?
Yeah, it's the first time it's the first, I don't know. I mean, career-wise, yeah, it's the first time I decided to do something where I'm not working for someone else. But I've done things before where it's kind of like being my own project. Like I used to create a lot of digital art when I was a teenager, and when I was a teenager, I taught myself how to code and I'd make websites and graphics,
Wait,
all
wait.
this kind of rant.
Can we right now
I
find this your old site and watch how you did it?
find my old
Yeah,
websites.
let's check it.
That's a good question. Let me think.
If it will be something embarrassing, that's even better, for
No,
sure.
no, none of it's embarrassing. I'm just wondering if anything is still up there. I don't think it is. This is like 15 years ago, so this is a long time ago.
Okay, if it's
Um,
not close to you,
'Cause I
then
used to, well, you know what? I used to create art. Have you ever heard of Deviant Art before? This website called
yeah, of
Deviant Art.
course, yeah.
Yeah, so I
But
used to make a lot of art and put it on there, but then I deleted my account because um, I found it too embarrassing. I deleted it when I was 18. So this
Wait,
is like,
what was your nickname back then?
it was just my name, Ovief, OVF.
It's not that embarrassing, because someone put some weird nicknames.
Yeah, yeah. The nickname wasn't that bad, but I was just like, it wasn't cool to make art, digital art then. So I was kind of like embarrassed by the art. So I deleted it and now I can't recover it. But I have all my old artworks on my laptop, which is at my parents' house. So I need to find that laptop and dig it out, basically. Trying to think if there's any other websites that I have from then. There are two YouTube videos of me
Oh,
from when I was like 15, but they're like extremely, extremely embarrassing. So I'll just have to leave the internet to see if they can discover it or not.
wait, but isn't
They're
it
pretty
a way
bad.
isn't it a way to for every creator, and the difference is just, successful creators, they continue their way. For example, I stopped with my YouTube too. When I watched my old videos, I'm like, oh my god, no, I can't do this. But now I feel sorry because I needed to continue, and what do successful bloggers,
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
then you actually continue with what you're doing right now? What's the difference? What changed in you?
Yeah. I don't know. I think I don't really see myself as a creator, I think. Like I'm not don't really see myself as a content creator. I know like lots of things I do will maybe generate content, but that's never something that like I've really wanted to do. Like when I do things, I don't think, okay, like will this make good content? But not. That's not really how my brain works. So I don't really think about the old stuff in that regard. And I think the things that I really like doing is like I really like the main thing I really like doing is I really like taking risk and I really like trading. And
Mhm.
um I always want to have that. And even if I'm creating art, whatever, like I want to take some risk with it. So um I never really think about the old stuff. You are right. Like it could, if I could find it, it could maybe tell an interesting story. And you're right, it would make good content and it would help um tell the story a little bit. But yeah, I never really thought about it that way, I guess, because that's not like how my brain thinks. My brain's more like just like, okay, what do I need to do right now? And how do I, address it? But
No,
maybe I should
that's
just find some old stuff, I guess.
Yeah, everything is super different, and that's what interests us in watching interview with the people like you. For example, when did the interview with Loop, his answer was super unpredictable for me as well, because all he said it was like watch news, watch how economics works, and for me it's like a completely opposite thing that I do usually in my life. So that's why it's interesting to talk with you. And for example, Talf have the same question that I had, is what makes you decide a product is worth putting your brand on, gonna drive and lurk. Yeah, it's like what makes you feel that what you're doing is worth it?
I think, yeah, what makes you think, here's the question, what makes you decide a product is worth putting your brand on, gonna drive and look? I think for us at the moment, the only stuff that we really put our brand on is like the products we've created. And I think um it kind of depends, like with on the brand side, it kind of depends on what your brand messaging is, I think. And for us, for Rect, I think we have quite strong story that comes from, like 3 years ago from when the NFTs were first created. Like when we first created our NFTs called Rektguy, it was at a time when all the markets were wrecked and everyone was losing money and everything was crashing and people were like really struggling, right? But
Mhm.
that's how our community formed and that's how our community kind of stuck together through the hard times. So we have a really famous saying in our Rect community, which is down bad but never dead. So it doesn't matter like how much you can get beaten up or lose everything, you still have like one chip at the poker table to try and bounce back and make it all. So that's kind of like the messaging around our brand. And I think for us to want to put that branding on a product, it has to share the same brand message, like both in an aesthetic way, but also in a way that tells that message and makes people feel energized. It's meant to be an energetic brand. Like some
Mhm.
brands, you look at it and you think, oh, this is a cute brand and it makes you feel happy inside. Some brands you look at it and you think, oh, this makes you feel peaceful. For us, it's like it's meant to give you like, and you meant to feel energetic. You meant to look at it and think, oh, yeah, like I feel like I can go out there and like, do something that I thought I couldn't do. Like that's the idea behind it. So it doesn't really matter what that product is. It could be a drink. It could be, I don't know, like a car. It could be something sports related. It could really be anything. But
Mhm.
the aesthetic and the messaging behind it has to sort of be like, okay, this makes me feel like I have some sort of superpower to go out there and do something crazy, take a crazy amount of risk, or be degenerate or whatever. And I might lose all my money, or I might just fail
Mm.
spectacularly, but at least I like, try to do something crazy and I'm not gonna like die from doing it basically.
Had you wrote it in your strategy, in your, marketing task, like we need to be energized, or it's just, naturally born into you and you don't need to try, to show it to
Yeah.
work on your personal brand like this, like how it's actually working?
Yeah. That's a really good question, actually. We and I don't really have, and people might be surprised to hear this, but we don't really have written strategy. We don't really have a complete business plan. I mean, we have like an idea of what we're doing, but there's no like written materials that says
Mhm.
this is the Rekt marketing strategy, this is the Rekt brand, this is this, this is that. Um, a lot of it is done by feeling. I do a lot of things by feeling. I do a lot of things like, okay, this feels right to me. This is what we should do. Um, I think that comes from me having a background of being in a very like um, structured environment, but also like when I used to be a trader and it's like a very fast market, you don't have time to like write things down and spell things out. You just make the decision and then you move
Mhm.
on to the next one. You make your next decision, you make the next decision. And I think that's generally how um I've still been operating. Like so how I operate with this. Um and maybe that's a good thing and maybe that's a bad thing. I think the good thing, it means we can get lots of things done quickly and move. And if I have some confidence as to like what the vision is in my head, that should come out in what we do. But the
Mhm.
bad thing is, maybe sometimes you need to have someone in there who's like, okay, let's forget all the noise. Let's take a step back. What's the message? What are we trying to do? What are we trying to achieve? And um, I think we could probably do with more of that in the team. But so far, everything that we've done has kind of been like organic, hasn't really been planned before, and we've kind of just gone with the flow, and it seems to be working. So I'm a believer, if something isn't broken, you don't have to fix it. And for now, I think it will work.
Guys on the abstract suggesting you to maybe I don't know, make a car or take a car and F1 participate in it. I think it's you to your brand for real. Maybe it will be like next huge
Yeah,
step, something like this. It's interesting that you many times mentioned your trading experience and past. I still trade and yeah, I still trade, or it's in the past. Still doing?
yeah, I still trade. I think I don't trade a lot these days. Like when I
Mhm.
started in crypto, it was like every day I'd be like day trading and stuff. Now, because I'm spending so much time on Rekt, I don't have as much time to trade frequently, but
Mhm.
I'll never not trade. I'll never not invest. It's just something that I've always enjoyed doing. Like I first started trading and stuff when I was like 16, and I lost so much money doing it. Yeah,
Very
I
well.
lost a lot of money doing it, but I learned some very valuable lessons. That's just I'm gonna do that for the rest of my life. Like it is what it is. I can't not do it. You can maybe call it an addiction. Hopefully not a gambling addiction, just a trading addiction.
I feel
Um,
you. I feel you. To be honest, every month I leave for myself some money to gamble because I cannot gamble. I really like to do this. So I'm super with you on this point. But you mentioned like many times that money it's not so important for you. It's not on the first place, right? And like, are you came to this philosophy, or it was born during the trading, or it never was about money and it's just about this feeling of adrenaline in you?
yeah, my mum used to tell me when I was younger, I was like very money motivated. Like I always wanted to be a trader and make money, like just go into business, like make money. I was one of those people. I think lots of people in crypto are like that. Um, and like I was quite good at school, but I was like only trying to be good at school so I could get like a good job to make money. So I remember my mother always used to tell me like, doesn't really matter how much money you make. If you're not a good person, then it doesn't count for anything. And I still remember that. She doesn't tell me that anymore, but I still like remember that as a saying. And
Hmm.
my view is, if you are just solely money focused, and lots of people are, you will do anything just to make some money,
Hmm.
and you won't think about whether what you're doing is good or bad, whether what you're doing is something that you have, you know, achieved a good goal for yourself, or whether it's just been handed to you on a plate. All you care about is the money. And to me, that over time, that hasn't really felt that rewarding. Like if someone gave me $1 million tomorrow just for free, I honestly wouldn't take it, because I'd be like, well, it just doesn't feel like I really earned it, right? So um, I think when I started to realize that, it's when I realized I was more focused on like the process of being successful rather than actually making money. And the way that the world works in most countries actually is, if you are really successful at what you do, and you are become like the best of your field, you will make money as a byproduct. Like money is a byproduct of being successful. You don't have to try to get the money; it will come. So my focus has always really been like, okay, let me just be really good at whatever it is I'm doing, and I'll make money will come on the side. Now, trading is like difficult to say that, because trading is literally just like making money. So you can't really define it there. But for something like Rect, it's like, okay, um, this is a challenge that I've set myself of like, can we make Rect brands into a massive global brand, and can we get Rect drinks everywhere in the world and just really blow this thing up? Like that's my goal. That's my challenge I've set for myself, which is a very difficult challenge to achieve. And if I don't achieve it, I won't make any money. If I do, I will make money. But I can't focus on just the money part of it, right? I have to be successful, and then I think the money comes afterwards. So that to me feels way more rewarding, because then I can say, okay, I can look back on my life and be like, cool, I did that. That was really cool. And then,
Hmm.
yes, I made some money out of it. But it's more just achieving like a goal, which I think is tough. One that makes your ability to actually, and if you can prove people wrong, I think there's honestly, that to me, there's no better feeling than proving people wrong.
That's interesting, actually. So, but what the point then for you to build like huge brand if it's not like money? Uh, do you want to, prove something to yourself, prove something to someone, maybe like, or it's just you want what? Like, what the main reason?
I definitely want to prove something to
Hmm.
myself, I think. Like, set myself lots of different challenges over my life, physical, and I've always achieved them. Like I've always done the challenges. So when I achieve one, the next goal, and each time the next goal has to be harder. So um, competing with myself, it's like setting myself a new challenge. That's number one. I like winning with friends. Like I like doing things as a team. And for Rect, as you mentioned in your introduction, we gifted these NFTs away for free originally, and then we gifted equity in the company away for free. So if I can now make this like a massive, massive company, and we can do really well, all these random people, some of which I probably will never meet in my life, will have gotten equity for free, NFTs for free, and they'll make a lot of money out of it. They'll actually own something substantial, something real. And that to me is like a really special feeling, because there's like a whole group of us that are just in this thing together, and we can potentially win at it. And like there's been times in the past where people message me and they say, "Oh, like, thank you so much for this. I minted your NFT for free. I minted this thing. I sold it, and I took my girlfriend on a vacation." Or someone even told me they bought an engagement ring with like one of the NFTs they sold that I made and they got for free. So like that genuinely actually makes me feel quite happy. Like I feel quite rewarded when I hear things like that. Because I think it's nice to make an impact on other people's lives where it's positive. And so this Rect, if we make this into $1 billion company, $2 billion company one day, which is my goal, like that's what I'm trying to do here. There are people out there who are going to make, hundreds of thousands of dollars, some of them even millions for, out of nothing, out of just being in our Discord one day and then supporting us all the way through. And
That's
that
very
is like a big impact
yeah.
on lots of people's lives. And that to me would just like be incredible. So yeah, it's not really for, I mean, it's for myself because the challenge is for myself. but it's not really for myself to make money. Like if I make loads of money out of it, it's not going to like I've made good money trading. It's not going to make that much of a difference to my life. I don't live very extravagantly. I'm a pretty relaxed person, but if I can make a big difference to lots of other people's lives, like that's a cool thing, I think. And not something that many people have done before. I don't think anyone has done this the way we've gifted equity to people. So, it would be cool to be a trailblazer in that.
That's really interesting, and we will back to topic about community. It will be very interesting for me to ask some questions. But at first, I want to ask you, had you ever thought like, oh my God, thanks God, I made my collection in 2022? Because right now, to sell collection, I feel like it's much more difficult. It's like took so many efforts because people don't believe like that. Anymore. They're so traumatized by all this experience with different founders, and you need to create like 1,000 utility, and it won't be enough still. So it's like, had you thought like, oh my God, thanks God I did it like before? And if you didn't do this, right, and you still had this thought in your head, how would you create your project in 2025? What would you do? Let's give some tips for guys who just starting their career now as a founder.
Yeah, 100%. Like if we started this today, it would be difficult. It would be tough because part of the reason why I think we had this community is because we were right at the end of like the NFT boom, but we did have some success at the beginning. And when you do that, you end up capturing some community members, and you have some success in your history that people can think of. So, right now we've had this community for about 3 years, and it would be very tough if I was to start today to do a brand new NFT project because it's so hard to get attention now for anything, right? People are looking at meme coins, people are farming different L2s and stuff. Lots of people don't even touch NFTs anymore. And it's not just on Ethereum, you have
Mhm.
Solana, you have NFTs on Abstract, Base, Blast, etc. So it's very difficult. I think there's two things to focus on really if you're a new project founder. I think the first is you have to have a really good idea. You have to have an idea that probably that no one has done before right now. Like you can't just be, oh, here's another PFP project with, some characters and the art's really cool. Like that's not enough. It has to be utility side of things, and the idea has to be something no one's thought of before. And the second thing is like you need to really focus on community and be in it for the long term. I think people come in and they think, okay, let me try and make some really quick money in the first month, and then I'll leave or whatever, or I'll make the money, then I'll try and do this. It doesn't really work. You have to really build things over time. Like some collections have been very lucky to go viral and do really well. Part of that is executing well, but not everyone can be Bored Ape Yacht Club. Not everyone can be first like CryptoPunks. Even Pudgy Penguins, right? Like they brought that thing after the whole Lucas spent 4 years building it into what it is now. Um, for us, like we could have just abandoned the project many times in the last 3 years, and we didn't. We kept it, but it's taken me 3 years of this to get to this stage where we are now. You have to have, if you want to be successful, you have to either you get really well at the beginning, but probably it won't. And if you can't approach it with a long-term mindset, and that also means like, if you need money to live, that has to be part of this equation, right? Because if you can't live, then you can't keep doing it. You have to think about that income and stuff on the side. So, if I would say if you're a founder and this is like your income and you have like 6 months of runway or 12 months of runway for yourself to do it, and if it doesn't work, then you're screwed. You have to be realistic with yourself and think like, chances are it's going to be very tough. So do things like try and give yourself longer runway. Try and focus on building a community over time, because that's the only way you can get any success. You need to have a community, and the only way a community trusts you is if you're there for a long time, I think. So it's not an easy thing, but you have to really be committed and understand how much of a commitment it is.
Um, What I wanted to ask, wait a second, it was a thought right here.
Yeah.
Wait. Do you think like founder need to consider it as a okay, I am a founder, I will be build my project, right? So all what I'm doing, it's my project and I focus on it. If I failed like completely. Or should it be another approach where you have like stable your job and you don't think about money too much, but you just slowly building, or it's just both option have a place to live and it's depend from the person.
Yeah,
What's in your opinion?
it's a good
Or,
yeah, it's a good question. It's a tough one.
mhm,
Um, I think look, 99% of startups fail, or there's something like that, right? So
mhm.
um, it's difficult to be successful starting your own thing. It's really tough. It's not easy. Um, and I think you just have to be aware of that. So it's like you need to have, if you go into it and that's your full-time role, you need to have a plan B. And whether your plan B is, okay, I'll have some extra income on the side to help me keep doing this thing so I can do it for longer, or it's like, okay, I'm realistic with myself that this may not work. Um, and I have a plan B to do something else afterwards. But if your mindset is like, okay, I'm going to try it. If it doesn't work, then doesn't work, then I move on. Those people don't usually succeed. The people who succeed is like, I really, really believe in this. This is going to work. I need to do everything I can to somehow keep doing this. If I need to go work part time as like a waiter or a waitress, or if I need to go earn some money into whatever, I need to keep doing it so I can just keep pushing this and doing it. Like you need to have that hunger, that determination, and that conviction in what you're doing to be able to do it. Now, some people may be fortunate enough where it's like, okay, I don't need to make income on the side, or I've already made enough income that I can just go ahead and do this without having to have that worry. And that's a very unique and advantageous position to be in. And then you can really focus on what you're doing. But you just have to, you need that conviction, I think. Like it's hard to just come in and be like, I'll do it, and if it fails, it fails, and then whatever, I just do the next one, etc. And the other thing I would say is if you do something and you fail, that's fine. And if you start something new, that's also fine. But if you had a community that you started with, you should bring them along to the next thing that you do. You know what I mean? Like those people supported you in your first endeavor, and even though you failed, start something new, but like have some benefits for those people, or get them involved in what you're doing, because that way, if you do something for the third or fourth time, you just have the same people all the way through that journey, and then you have like actually a really strong community because they're like, okay, cool, we get it. Not everyone succeeds first time round, but we've kind of been through this journey, and then maybe this is the one that works. And if you do find something that works, you'll have a crazy strong community. And I think that's what happened with us, really. Like our first project didn't work out; it failed, but we gifted a free mint to all those guys of Rekt guys, and now I hope that people are grateful that we did that rather than just ditching them and moving on. So that's a really important thing, I think, which is that failure is okay, but don't ditch the people that supported you. Bring them along for your next venture.
So if you're a founder, basically you need to prepare yourself for working 3 years on your project and think about community as much as possible. And here I'm
Yeah.
super agree with you. I think that's only the way you can succeed in this field. And talking about community, how are you like keep people focused on what you're building? And yeah, at first question, and second will be, have you changed how community or some people react on you with your success? Because people like literally congrats me, like, oh my god, you will have interview with us SF, it's so good. And before, like, I'm sure that you didn't have the same admiration, right? You didn't have it, you earned it through years, and definitely you faced with different reactions. Some people could be jealous, had you had some haters, maybe how you dealt with it. So yeah, that's the
Yeah.
question.
What was the first question again? Sorry, I
Just to yeah, how you keep attention focused on you on
yeah,
the building. Yeah.
yeah, on what we're building. Yeah, it's really hard. I find it really hard actually to keep people get people's attention. Like I'm not. I think it's a personality thing. Like some people really like attention and seeking attention,
Mhm.
and some people are really good at it, just on a personal level. And if they are, then they're generally good at doing it for their projects. I'm not really that type of person. Like I don't really love
Come on.
attention. Yeah, I just don't
Come
really like
on. I
crave
saw
attention.
your videos and everything. You do it so fun, and it's go naturally.
Yeah, I think that like I'd rather just be myself and not, try and do that. And I think sometimes I feel like it's a disadvantage for the project because if you 10 founders in the space and nine of them are always, trying to get the attention to doing that, being very great, and the one person that's not doing it, then inevitably we lose out. But I think I'm at and my career where I myself and I don't want to like change myself or personality or change the way I would just, because just for the sake of it. So I think you can succeed without all this hype, without always chasing attention. And is that if you do something good, actions speak louder than words. We build cool things and we do cool things and we launch cool naturally without me having to, try and chase
Mhm.
it. And then that's a much more powerful story for people because they're like, oh wow, talking, not necessarily, the founder always trying to aggressively jam it down people's throats. So sometimes it's tough because we don't really like build in public. So sometimes people won't know what we're doing. It can be quiet sometimes, and then we'll just launch something. But I think we'll have ways to address that and give people more of an insight into the behind the scenes stuff and what we're doing. So in the next few weeks, there'll be some more information that will come on that. But I still think it's like, actions speak louder than words. And I think over promise, under promise and over deliver is the best way to go. So if you tell everyone everything you're going to do,
Right, but
then
don't you lose then, if you're like saying like, okay, better to show what I'm able to do, by results and everything. Don't you lose in this huge informative like in info war? Because people like I have a feeling like who is louder, those is right, sometimes, and it's
yeah,
probably hard to build something in silence. Don't you feel so? Or you are like already a strong brand and you can afford it to yourself.
yeah. My view on that
Mhm.
is if you believe what you're doing, your product or your project or whatever it is, if you believe it's really, really good, then you don't care about whether you're loud or quiet.
Mm.
Um, because you know that it's going to stand on its own two legs and garner its own natural attention. And maybe that attention doesn't come today. Maybe it's tomorrow, maybe it's the next week or the next month or the next year. Maybe you don't even know when it is, but
Mhm.
it will come. And that's my view here. Like, I'm not focused on being loud and telling the story. I do think there's a marketing angle and I do think we have to tell the story and I do think we can have improvements, but I don't think I need to be this loud person sounding arrogant, saying all this stuff. I genuinely believe, I really, 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 really genuinely believe what we're doing is going to be good. I think it's going to be special. Like I just know it. I know it is because of all the stuff we're doing in the background. So um, when we launch the things that we launch and when we roll out what we're going to roll out, people are going to be like, wow, like shit, I had no idea they were doing that. Or they're going to be like, wow, like that's a surprise. And that feeling is much more powerful than if I keep telling everyone we're going to
Mhm.
do something amazing, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Then when it happens, they're like, oh, well, it's not that good. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's kind of like the way I like to do it, I think. And that's more like that's just how I am as a person. That's more like what I'm like as a person. And I just feel better doing business and running this community and running Rex, being myself rather than trying to be, someone else.
Mhm. So about community again, how you, if you are like prefer more, actions and everything, how you still keep, connected with your community, how you hold this attention, you like what connects to you?
Yeah, it's that's just social media really. Like we have a really active Discord. I tweet quite a lot. Like I tweet every single day. I think people just want to see that you're there, that you're showing up every day, and that you're doing stuff. And
Right.
when we have updates and when we do things, like I'll post stuff and I'll keep the engagement alive. And the engagement, in my opinion, doesn't even have to be about your project. Like I chat to most of my community about random things all the time. I trade quite a lot. We chat about that. Like that still gives you that connectivity that I'm there, that I'm present, right? If I wasn't doing any work, or if I wasn't making any progress, then my natural inclination would be to hide and not show up, even if I was talking about other stuff, right? Whereas if I'm talking about other stuff, I think that shows some kind of like indirect confidence in what I'm doing. So again, like I actually don't really view my community, our community, as our community. Like most of these people are like my friends, I guess my internet friends. Um, and our Discord is like just one big group chat and everyone just like has banter in it and stuff like that. Right. So that's just how I approach it. You know what I mean? And um,
I
that way, I
really
think,
like
I hope, yeah, I hope people see that, you know, there's engagement there, which isn't necessarily always me saying update 1, update 2, update, you know what I mean? Because if you give so many updates, the actual big updates get lost. So
Yeah, it's very important what you're saying right now because I see from many founders they like, oh, I won't post anything because I'm like, I don't feel like I need to share everything. Like, well, my project isn't prepared, and I'm like, no, you need to still talk with your audience. To know, we just want to see that you are alive, that you are fine. Like, don't disappear, and that's very important. That's I think important to hear to founders, but. Yeah, back to a second question. Did you have this situation in your community, or maybe through, you started to have haters during your development? Like did you have some tough situation or something like this, or you just don't care?
yeah, I definitely don't care. I don't think we've had that many haters. I mean, like sometimes people can question what you do, and sometimes, we've banned people in our Discord before, but not really because they are hating on me. I don't think it's more just that they kind of ruin the atmosphere for everyone else.
Mhm.
But I've never really had anyone like call me out saying what you're doing is dumb, or you know any negative. I don't really have much I've never really received any negative.
In real
um
life too?
yeah, I mean, I think maybe I'm just like a bit too nice in real life or something. I don't really have any enemies or get any hate or anything. Maybe because I don't care, I don't realize it, or maybe I don't really know what it is. So I think I'm quite lucky in that regard. Maybe sometimes, I do things where people doubt if we're able to do something, or doubt our ability to do it.
Mhm.
It's not really hate. That's just
Yeah,
being skeptical.
it's
But I
normal.
like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like skepticism because you can't have everyone around you telling you're amazing. You need people to be skeptical because you
yeah.
need some motivation. You need a reason to succeed, right? You want to prove your doubters wrong. So um, yeah, that's kind of the way I would just phrase it. I don't think we have that much
Hmm.
like negative sentiment in our community or anything.
That's fine. And you seems like very chill guy. Do you work with psychologists or something like that? Or you have some mentors in your life? Because on our show, it's also, important to check how person, like maybe you have some rituals or something. Like what make you chill guy actually?
What makes me a chill guy? That's a good question. I don't know. I think I've always been like that. I think I'm like not really. If you're trying to like achieve something, it's not really that relevant what other people think. What's most relevant is what you think, right? And I think I just became aware of that quite early. So that maybe makes me come across as chill to other people, but like in my head, I'm not chill because I'm trying really hard at something. But I've never like worked with any psychologist or anything. I think that's just
Mm.
I've just generally been like that um, since I can remember, really.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so do you have some maybe rituals or something like that? What is necessarily three things that you do like every morning to, just be able to do something, to be focused on your, like, I'm sure that you are not thinking about your project all the time, and you, like any other
Yeah,
normal person, sometimes want to just chill, do nothing, like, and sometimes you're lazy, should be lazy, like every normal.
yeah, yeah.
Tell me.
Yeah, I like to do. There's a few different things I like to do. Like I really like playing sports. Um, so
Mhm.
like I like
What
playing.
kind of
I like
sport?
boxing. I like boxing quite a lot. So I like sparring. Like I like actually like punching or getting like hit or whatever. Like I think that's good. That's a really good thing to do because you're just in like a complete like still do boxing training like a couple of times a week. I really like playing golf. Uh,
Mhm.
and I, I I I work out quite a lot. I go and run and stuff. It's all like it's all things that get my heart rate higher and all like sports aspect of my mind of so and other things. I don't or anything like that. Um, I don't get any gratefulness or anything like that. I don't do any mental work at all.
Mhm.
It's just only I only take time out to do physical stuff and really
Mhm.
sports. I'm in a happy spot mentally, if I want to do some work, but I really don't. Like I know some people have some things where they're like write down, let me write out my goals for today and that kind of stuff. And I think it's good. It's definitely useful. But for me, if I have spare time, I just want to go and play some sports. Really, I think that's kind of like my escape. I would say.
That's interesting. But how? Okay. Then tell me. Can you tell me how your usual day looks like? How you live in your life usually? Like what you're doing
Yeah. I'll wake up and I'll either go for a run or go boxing or play golf or do something
in
like
the
that. So I usually
morning?
start. Yeah, I
Uh-huh.
start my day with the physical activity, and then once I sit down at my desk, I feel like it puts me in a good state to like focus and do stuff. And then I pretty much just sit at my desk all day until the evening, working, whether it's doing podcasts and streams and stuff like this, whether it's on phone calls with partners, etc., whether it's creating art, whether it's trading, all that stuff. And I kind of do everything at the same time. Like I really multitask.
Mhm.
Uh, I don't just do one thing. I'll multitask. I even eat my lunch at my desk because that's a bad habit I have from being on the trading floor. We never had a lunch break, so we always had our lunch at our desk. So I'll like whatever be eating a salad and typing at the same time or something like that. So that's why it's really important for me in the morning, or at least at some point in the day, to get out and do something physical because when I'm working, I'm just here the whole time, basically, just at my desk. And then I will have dinner and then I will sleep. Sometimes I play chess. I like playing chess quite a lot. So sometimes I do that before I sleep. Depends on how tired I am, really.
That sounds cool. Okay, then
Boring.
a bit, yes, but that's interesting because I didn't expect it from you. To be honest, I expected something more, wild at first, but now it's all makes sense because I don't believe like you need to be mental stable to build something in a long term. And now when I see you, when I talk with you, it's all makes sense. How you actually build it. But tell me about your collaboration with Abstract. Okay, we got it. Okay, you was on the million interviews before. You said how Abstract team is great, like everything, how your drink is great. But tell me, how do you think like at least once, like, oh my God, I needed to build like the same streaming platform. Like I needed like, do you feel like you could do the same? Like maybe, oh my God, no, I need to create my own chain and I need to build in this side. Like, or you don't like feel this at all and you like confident in your own way.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think you need to, I think if you're building something, it needs to be in something that you're passionate about and that you actually enjoy. And if you're not, then you just can't do it long term, right? So for me, like streaming and stuff, I've never really done streaming. Like I don't, it's not really my thing. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't know where to start in terms of building a streaming platform. I think it's an amazing idea, and obviously you've listened to some of the other podcasts and stuff, and they might know my views on it. Like it's brilliant, but there's no way I would have thought of that or could build something that was good. I wouldn't even know where to start. And Same thing with building a chain. Like um, I'm not like that interested in blockchain technology. Like I like how it behaves economically. I like the speculation aspect of it.
Mm.
I like the interaction of it, and I like the mechanism to build a business on. But in the tech side of things, build a chain or to build an L2 or whatever it is really interests me that much. Um, Academically or I'm happy doing because even drink kind of random, but I really like drinking drinks. Like I don't really like water that much, so I always drink drinks, and unfortunately, I really like sugary drinks, but it's not healthy. So and
Yeah.
other alternatives which don't have much sugar. So that's like it's like I'm target audience for my own. That's what I'm interested. So um,
Do you
I'm trying
agree?
to make everything I do, yeah, around things that I actually like.
Do you agree, by the way, with the words of Luca? Because to be honest, I never watch streams myself. I don't understand the point of it. Sometimes I
Yeah,
watch podcast, and that's why I like that I also, have in YouTube to upload this video because someone can just drink coffee or tea at the morning, just watch the podcast.
yeah,
That's it. And on background they can trade or do something like this. But I don't like sit and watch streams where people are like do gaming or something like that. But I heard from Luca, if I'm not mistaken, recently on the timeline that streaming will be the main source of news in the next 5 years. Like, do you actually agree with it? Do you see it? Because when I read it at first, I'm like, I don't know. But then I started noticing, this situation with Kanye West. He started to stream and it was banned in 7 minutes on the Twitch and everything like around streaming. And I'm like, maybe there's.
yeah. I mean, when you think about it, what is live news when you watch the news on TV? That's basically a stream, right?
Mhm.
Like streaming actually has been going on for decades because watching live TV is basically a stream. And what we now call a stream is like something that you watch on your laptop, like internet content, basically. So in a way, he's right because it already happened. Just instead of like you streaming something, it's like Sky News or BBC News or whatever. Um, for people who are celebrities and famous people, like maybe that's the way that they will communicate information, and maybe that's the way it will come out first. But I don't think we see a world where like the whole world is streaming because at the end of the day, not everyone is comfortable on camera. Not everyone likes to be that open. Streaming is a very like you really open yourself up to people, right? Like you're if you're doing it regularly, you're on what it is like. Like how often do you stream? Like every day or every week? Um, it's a lot, and maybe the first few times you do it, you have this streaming persona, but after a while, you end up being yourself, and you kind of giving up your personality to like the whole world. So not everyone is comfortable doing that. Like I said, not everyone is comfortable being on camera. So I don't see a world where like the whole world is streaming, but yeah, in certain industries, you could see it for sure.
Mhm. Um, okay. Then I have the final questions for you, as I have for all my guests. And
Yeah.
it's like blitz. You need to answer quickly, don't think much, and just
Okay.
you can explain your question, just answer. Just yeah, $1 billion or your project. And when you like, if you choose in $1 billion, you can rebuild some else project.
No, I stick with the project.
Okay, 11. Full centralization or full decentralization?
Oh, that's a good one. Full decentralization.
Okay. Full doxing or full undoxing on the internet? And you
Full undoc. Yeah, full undoxing, I would say.
how you actually do you think like founders who is doxed more privileged or no? People don't care about.
Yeah. If you're a founder and you're doxxed, people can trust you more. Like that's just a fact. You know, if you're anonymous and you do something bad, you can just walk away and no one will know who you are. But if you're doxxed, you're held more accountable. So that's just a fact. I think in general, you don't have to be founders, yeah, but just in general, no one should have to dox themselves. Like, people can be anonymous if they want to. So that's kind of why I said undoxed.
I agree with you. Okay, and then last question: what 3 words you can choose to explain your success in your way?
I would say motivated, resilient, and carefree.
Carefree.
Yeah. Or
Okay.
not careless, carefree.
Can only trust and dox people, then they are checkered. Okay, guys. And we have the last thing for you. It's okay. Oh, no, not the last. Actually, we need to give points for guys through my code. Can we use the code the rabbit? On the
Yeah,
slide
I
where
need to.
we set it.
Yeah, we need to get the code set up because Tabs, who is the code man, is in Dubai at the moment. So I will get the code to you, but we might need to post the code after the stream, I think.
Okay. Then you will send it to me when it's ready, and I can just post
Yeah.
it. Okay, guys. So we have surprise for you, but it will be post later. And also, the last thing is, I always ask people to say few words for themselves in a year, what you want to say yourself in a year, and then maybe like year after you will back to this video, rewatch it, and just had this small conversation with yourself. So what do you want to say yourself? Wait, no, yeah, like this.
This is me speaking to myself in a year's time.
Yes.
Oh shit. Wow. Okay, so I'd say 2 things. Okay, here have you 2 things for you. Number 1, if you achieved everything that's on your pipeline for Rect for the rest of this year, this time next year, Rect is going to be about 10 times bigger than it is now. So well done if you've done that. And number 2 is, have you managed to get your golf handicap low or not? Please, hopefully it's yes. Those are the 2 things.
I really love it, and it's such a great conversation, with you, to be honest. Because sometimes I feel like people need to watch different opinions. If they need to set themselves for the work, they can watch some, interviews of successful people, and just be able to do something their own, just to be motivated. For example, you said motivated to gain some motivation through interviews like that. So thank you so much. When you screen I don't know if you guys, you need to be founders, and then I will invite you and we'll watch it your reaction. Okay, so thank you everyone for watching this interview. It was great, and thank you to you. It was really awesome. I think I will rewatch this interview myself to learn something again.
Sounds good. Yeah, glad to hear that. Thanks a lot for having me.
Have a great trip in Dubai. Have fun.
Thank you. Will do.
Yeah.
Cheers. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. So guys, it was very, very cool interview, and I didn't expect. Okay, now we're gossiping only with you here, and I didn't expect that he will be like such a guy, very, very chill, for real, like very calm, and we like, hi guys, we can learn from him how to set your mind, and be more rational, and especially towards your community, how to build your relationship with community, because it was big question for me, how to set relationship good, how to again like how to have people focused on you. And these simple answers, it was actually brilliant, that you don't need to like do some crazy efforts for it. You just need to naturally share what worry you. You need to be honest with your people, and also you don't need to be super stressed about that you like feel yourself sometimes behind, because it's so normal to feel yourself behind when you actually build something. Of course, sometimes someone will be ahead you, sometimes you will be ahead, and the tempo, it's like different for everyone. And by understanding it, you don't have like this FOMO. You now like focus on yourself. You just understand that your wave will come. You just need to build. You need to be confident in yourself, and you need to continue, because consistency, it's the most important part for founders, for creators, for everyone. Because a lot of people don't understand that. And as I said, like I'm a member of many communities that stop building because they don't just feel themselves right to share with community the usual thoughts. They thought like, we need to share something only great, like something that will, and they had all, like this mental health issues and everything, and they was just stop communicated. And it was so wrong on my opinion, because exactly when you continue, you winning. When you don't expect the results right now, you winning. And when you don't look at other people who are succeeding, at the moment when you prepare something, and it's impossible to like prepare something and succeed at the same time. Of course, everyone have their own timing. So all you need to do is be focused on yourself, be honest, and just know that your time will come if you actually build something valuable and care about your community. I also really like this take that you need to take care about your community, and grow with your people together. So this interview was really great. I'm sure that I will listen it myself. And if you don't follow me on YouTube, please follow. And I think on like very soonish, I will make this post with rewards from Rekt to my community with my code. So yeah, stay tuned and have a great week. Actually, we just started week with such an amazing interview, and thanks to you all for it. Because without community, that we creators can't invite people because we don't have enough views and etc. So you guys actually a huge power, and thank you for supporting. That's it.